Alright, hello. This is a bit of a different start to my video that you guys are used to, but I'm doing this because I wanted to kind of be a bit more real this time and have me directly into the mission playing with the build so I can showcase it right over here. So, I just put the final format for my build for Valkyr, and I'm just gonna talk a bit about the update and my experience with it before I showcase the build with everything while having gameplay in the background. So, overall, update has been pretty mid so far, despite all the new changes. Some of the new changes have been really nice, but overall the update itself hasn't had too much of a good part on Warframe. Like, if we're being realistic, the update is mainly overused upsets on something that people generally don't like, which is the Viri. And that is fine. I'm someone who likes the Viri personally, but this update, even if I like the Viri, is not really it. So I can only imagine how bad the Operation 8 Claw felt for people that actually don't like playing the Viri. Which is, pretty bad, probably. Overall, so far from the update, our axe is amazing. Our weapons are amazing. All the new weapons feel really nice to play, but it kind of feels like we don't have any training grounds or anything new to test out those weapons, and we'll have to resort to our regular scenario where we just keep playing this regular old boring ass either disruption, cascade, whatever is your preferred game mode. But overall, it's not something that it is very desirable. Obviously, people want new stuff, and hopefully TennoCon will be enough to bring us new stuff in order to keep us entertained into the game. But if I'm being realistic, I'm someone who is getting bored quite easily now with Warframe if I don't get something new. Also, holy shit, I just got double strength and range on Valkyr, but yeah. But yeah, overall it's a very weird situation to be in. 1566% work rate. Now, if I had Eternal Work here, that would have been really nice, but this build doesn't have that. We'll talk about the build and variation after the missions, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are interested to see my Valkyr build. This is the build I ended up with, and it feels really, really nice to play. Like, it feels super, super good to play, not gonna lie. Yeah, overall, I'm having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, sadly, I can't really have too much fun with it because most of the stuff we have are already like old stuff. I understand there are some stuff about this update that were focused towards the new players, like the Junction rework, the Captain War rework, and all that good stuff, but it's not really something that affects me. It makes sense. So, all in all, I'm just here to say that I'm taking a small break from the game. I've been playing other games. I know that I should have had some Build Pioneers episodes on the channel, and I don't, but that is because I kinda cannot be arsed to go editing. Because I kinda feel bored of even opening the game, getting assets, or editing at all for the game right now. Because of the way it is currently. Instead, I've been playing a bunch of FPSs, and I will make a video regarding said FPSs, probably. Not really something to entertain you on the FPS, just showcasing of, I guess, my playstyle, my skill, whatever. It's gonna be a funny video, that's all. It's in the works, and I should have it out by, hopefully, next week. But yeah, overall, I just want to say that I really hope TennoCon is good. We have a bingo card for TennoCon. We have the expectation that we're going to Tau, and I really hope it's gonna be good. I have high expectations, especially after seeing how this mainline update landed. And overall, if I see reused assets from like the Railjack Tau tile set, that's gonna be very disappointing. That's not gonna be very fun to see. Yeah. For the build here on Valkyr, as you see, we're using Lycat's Hunt. And Lycat's Hunt help us get a lot of health orbs, energy orbs. Why the hell am I on minus 200? What the? I'm on minus 202. Okay. Why am I on... What? Okay. I was on minus 222,000% work rate for that moment. Anyways, yeah, the build has pretty much infinite energy. It has a lot of efficient health. Like, I'm gonna get into the details of efficient health and everything so you can see. And it probably is good enough to solo even up till level 10, if played properly. There is obviously a bit of a skill issue, but I will tell you how to get around that if you still want to use Eternal War, because I'm someone who likes Eternal War. And, you know, we'll see some variations of it. But first of all, I want to take her to max rank, so I'm gonna stay here for just a bit more. Yeah. Overall, I'm really liking the Valkyr rework. It's one of the things that I loved the most about this update, but unfortunately, I didn't like too much about the update itself. The event itself is very, very forgettable. It's an event that has one new boss fight on Araxia, which isn't really that good, if I'm being honest. It's kind of forgettable. And then the actual end of the stage has the same boss fight that we've been used to for a while. Like, the fragmented one, even if he's joined by, you know, a different version of the fragmented one, because, you know, 3 of them exist, it's, you know, pretty much the same thing. Is this bug back? No way this bug is back, bro. Thank you, cat. Okay, so apparently we have invincible Moas again on Jupiter. How is this bug back in the game, bro? They fixed this bug like 3 patches ago, 5 months ago. This was fixed and it's back. Oh my god. Anyways, I'll stay for 5 more minutes. Showcase a bit of capabilities on this build and do some Nightwave, because I'm not really gonna play the game too much. Just not having fun with it, really. So yeah, taking a break is normal. You guys are gonna see a bit less videos from me. Just, you know, throwing that out there, so you don't really get scared. Oh, where did he go? What did he do? I still have a ton of videos that a lot of people didn't watch, and a ton of people that probably went under the radar and not many people actually saw. Some of these videos, and like the Hawks propaganda, it's probably my best YouTube video so far. I think, like, if I had to choose between the Starter Guide, the Wisp Guide, and this one, I would definitely choose that one. It's more of my style, more funny, a lot of memes in there, a lot of personality of my own showcase. It ended up doing really, really well, and it took me a while to make. So it's a video that is really close to my heart, and it's for a weapon that I obviously love a lot. So yeah. But yeah, consider this video as a small update, and, you know, you can clearly see how strong this is. You can probably compare it with your own damage numbers, your own tankiness and whatever, because I'm sure a lot of people will have done the calculations to see what their numbers are in and what numbers they get with their builds. But yeah, I'm really liking this so far on Valkyr. Now, I'm just wishing that on Tenocon we have something that can help me by letting me test this Valkyrie on something. And that they also fix the damage attenuation bug, because their fix to the damage attenuation bug was not a fix. What they did was that they found out that the fragmented one on Steel Path had different health values, apparently. And they fixed that. But there is, like, actual issues with attenuation itself, where it bugs out and you can get more attenuation on the enemies that intended, and it can stack up forever. It can stack up multiple times, which is, you know, not very great, really. I don't think anybody likes when their damage that is normally like 20,000 being reduced to 2,000 and then 200. That is really, really not good. And especially since the way attenuation works, if you are doing public squads and someone has the attenuation bug, one of the enemies, the only way to get rid of the attenuation bug would be to simply not attack them for like around 5 seconds after they stop taking damage. You just stop attacking them and that resets the attenuation. But now if you have a public squad and people are constantly attacking them, well, obviously you can do that. Which is why they had to remove the fragmented one for last week's EDA. Because it was taking people literally 40 minutes. Even the devs were unable to kill it very quickly. Yeah. Not the greatest. The game state right now is in a bit of a weird spot. There is a lot of bugs in the game, as you saw from that. Yeah, there it is again. As you can see, minus 83,000% Warcry buff on the thing. That happens with Valkyr, Temple, and I think Jade with her second ability. Which is why sometimes you see that your Temple buff is giving you 60,000% heat damage. I'm a firm believer that it's only visual, but it's still weird to see that it exists. If it wasn't visual, they would have probably fixed it by now. At least I hope it is visual. Hey, regardless of that, I just think that I need to take a small break until we get another decent update in the game. Because Isleweaver was kinda not it, in my opinion. At least for me. You guys can tell me what you think about this. How has Isleweaver treated you? Did you actually get the arcanes? Because I obviously, you know, I got everything I needed and then I stopped, but yeah. Still need to do a bit more Isleweaver. I'll probably do on my stream on Wednesday. But yeah, overall this update kind of a miss. It is the same situation as last year where there were some really not great updates, which is, you know, fine, but sometimes it just tends to go for a very long period of time, which isn't too great. Right. So that is the showcase for Valkyr. You saw how she performed on a normal Steel Path mission. Obviously, I've taken Valkyr with a completely different build with way less survivability onto Temporal Archimedia, and it was doing just fine. So survivability wise, this build is even better, way better. I haven't stress tested, and that is only because I'm kinda bored of the game. So the build itself, it currently looks like this. So I know 3 Umbral mods. Like, yes, I understand. She is a health tank right now. If you don't want to do health tank and you want to utilize the passive, go ahead. But I think it's way more comfortable and way easier to just directly health tank with her. Especially with how much you actually get from health tanking with this Warframe. Which I will showcase elsewhere. Do not worry about that. So, as you can see, 3 Umbral mods. Quite a lot of stats here. 341% strength. Which is actually more, it shouldn't be that much. Oh no, it is that much, never mind. But yes, Bellicose and Blessing stacked together with everything else stacked here that we can see. And if you have a final Umbral Forma, you can add, on top of all of this, the funny Growing Power aura, which I can't find. There we go. So if you have the space, you can go Growing Power here for a bit more strength as well. Strength is generally really good for her. It used to be really good and it's still really good. But this build, the good part about it is that you can completely bypass any ability efficiency. Like at Hunt, paired with Equilibrium, it lets you be at max energy constantly and have Hysteria constantly up, while Warcry is giving you ludicrous amounts of armor. So with Warcry up, and I think the maximum amount of strength you can get, which is around 471, I think 471% strength was the limit that I got, and 496% strength with Growing Power. And if we actually add Growing Power to this build and then we do everything, this gives us a bit over 10,000 armor. The calculations that I did with Warcry and Hysteria up takes your armor up to 10,195. So 10,195 armor. If we actually go to Hypothermia, a website that I showcased on how armor works video, we can see that with an ability, ability damage reduction like adaptation, which normally gives, it says 90%, but it's closer to 87% because it's onto specific damage types. Your effective health with a base of around 3000 health, which normally is 31 to 3200, is gonna be around 839,000 health. So it's a bit more than this, actually. It's not that much, it's a bit more than this. And this is, of course, if you are not hitting anybody yourself, if you're not dealing any damage yourself, which mainly will not happen. And why am I saying this? Because obviously Hysteria gives lifesteal and it's enough to take you back up to full HP pretty much instantly. So yeah, no issues with survivability whatsoever. The damage, as you saw, is pretty crazy. And the best part about all of this is that you can go even more defenses, because health tanking and all this, melee fortification, the way it works, you probably saw it, but there were stacks going up and up and up in the mission. You can go back and see it. And the more enemies you kill, every stack has its own separate timer for 10 seconds. If this arcane was buffed and instead of 10 seconds you got 20 seconds, that would make this arcane one of the most insane ones for defenses, because in 10 seconds already it is not that hard to kill 20 enemies, especially with Valkyr and her the first ability with the 100% range on my build, giving it a 9 meter... Wasn't it 10? I thought it was 10. Anyway, 9 meter AoE radius, which is really, really cool. Overall, this arcane, 4200 armor if you kill 20 people in 10 seconds. It is an extra layer of survivability, and if I actually added the 4200 armor to the calculation and took my armor to 14,395 and then looked at hypothermia, let me show you real quick. So 14,395, then my effective health immediately goes to above 1 million, and that is an extra nice layer of survivability. You see, just the 4,000 armor for fortification does take us closer to an extra 200,000 effective health. So this is really, really cool to have onto the build, and especially since the health is closer to 3,200. Now, the build here, for Valkyr, as you saw, it has no Archon Swords. So the Archon Swords part is very, very tricky, and I will show you why. So first of all, you have a choice. That choice is, if you want, you can bypass Prime Flow, put Eternal War here, and bypass Blessing for Arcane Battery. Because you're bypassing Blessing, now Bellicose gives you less strength. And in order to fix that, and to get the maximum amount of strength from Bellicose, you would need to go here and give Valkyr 4 Blue Tau Forged Swords, but for health. Because of the amount of armor that Valkyr gives on her own, giving health to your Valkyr is infinitely beneficial. So 4 blue swords for health would take your health to exactly 3,000, which is why the calculation was exactly 3,000 health, because with Bellicose and 3,000 health you get the maxed out stats, and with Blessing you might have a bit more health, but I wanted to showcase the amount of tankiness just in case you were not using Arcane Blessing and you were going with this method instead, which in my opinion is way more comfy, because Eternal War allows you to snapshot. For example, on that one mission that I was doing before, I got double strength on Valkyr. I could have snapshotted the Warcry buff that was 2 times as strong and have a 900% strength Warcry buff running forever, making me pretty much unkillable. That is an extra 18,000 armor almost. So that it would make me unkillable, literally. But it would require me to have these 4 blue shards on Valkyr. Now, the other thing you can do, obviously, is use the purple swords for melee critical damage while your maximum energy is above 500. But as you can see with my damage, I don't think that's really needed. She deals so much damage already as it is that even her third ability, which is the one I subsumed, was not really needed, which is why I subsumed it instead of the first. And I kept the first for the small grouping tool that it can give you and the small mobility tool, because it actually feels quite nice to use at the moment. Anything else, like if you go for the full blue swords, the last shard can be a strength sword to get a bit more out of the ability strength for Valkyr. It's actually a really, really good choice, and I might I might go for that because I want to feel comfortable. And, you know, overall, this is another variation of the build that you can do. Other stuff that you can do, you know, obviously other subsumes. You don't have to go for like a hunt. Everything is your choice. It's just whatever felt the easiest for me to choose. So let me show you how it looks like with the Archon swords in place, because that's probably what I'm gonna do. And as you can see, 3000 health exactly, 2800 armor, 1065 energy, and we have like a Hunt, Hysteria, and Warcry giving us ludicrous amounts of ability strength. So the best thing that I could do right now on this build, and the only thing that I could do, is add an extra forma here for Power Drift, which is something that I can actually do, and I might. You know what? Yeah. Sure. And that allows me to get growing power in the build and get the extra 25% strength snapshotting, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, real nice overall. Now one thing I'm sure a lot of people will mention is, oh, since you have this much health in this, you could in theory go quick thinking, because you have, you know, a ton of armor and all that. Quick thinking should be a good idea. Well, I did the test, so if I remove adaptation, it's 100,000 health now, and I do quick thinking with 1065 energy, it barely gives me another 100,000 effective health. So I'm not really sure if it's worth it. Plus, quick thinking can make you kind of stutter in place. It can mini stun you in place, which is kind of annoying. So I think the adaptation route is way more comfortable to go through. So yeah, this is the build, final build right here with Valkyr, and maxed out 4 health swords, 1 strength sword, and make use of Lycat's Hunt and 4th ability for sustain. And yeah, just go to town by meleeing. This is the main build that I'm gonna be using for Valkyr. I really like how it played out, and I really like this rework in general. I hope you do as well. One small thing that I just noticed is that Umbral Intensify has 19.2% tower resistance, and the other ones have 19.8. I don't know what up with that, but sure. Yeah, really cool overall. The rework is very cool. I've been loving to play her, and it feels real nice. Dexterity and dexterity. Alright, that's gonna be it. Hope you guys like this video, even though it's a pretty monotone video in my opinion. It's more of an update video than anything else, but it still probably answered a lot of your questions that you might have about my Valkyr build, and you might like this build yourself. So, you know, I really hope you do, and I really hope you like Valkyr and the updates. You know, more power to you if you like Isleweaver more than me. But yeah, I personally have taken a small break from the game, and I will have some videos up probably soon, but I wanted to make this as an update to let you know, first of all, that I'm okay, nothing's wrong happening, and that, you know, I'm gonna keep at it. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. But you'll mostly find me these days on Twitch, and I will be streaming Twitch more often than doing YouTube videos to try and get some stuff there. So if you want to talk to me, ask me anything, just come there, regardless of the game I'm playing. Feel free to ask. I'm fine. So, thank you very much for watching another video of mine. Twitch, Discord links in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.